Is this working? Hello? I think it's working. Alright. Sorry about that. Stream also needs to be a little fixed, rejiggered. Okay. That seems like it's going well. Alright, so I'm trying to be as instructive as possible. And explain my moves. I wonder, is this rated? New game, 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, so how's this gonna work? Alright. And I can turn down the volume just a little bit. No need for it to be so loud. Alright, I really like the system against the French with D3. I feel like it's an unusual system. So immediately black is a little caught off guard. And you really want to look at the pawn structure of openings. I think pawn structure is really an underrated aspect of bishop d7. Is a little bit of a strange move. Okay, I'm very tempted to play e5 because there's no knight d7 now. I think we're gonna go with that. Bishop d7. So a common way to play with the pawns is to play c4, and it is good for black to challenge with b5. Like if I play c4, I do anticipate b5 will be the best move. So I don't know if I should. I mean, I think b5 is like the best move no matter what. I'm gonna try. I don't know. Let's play this move. He does not go for b5. So now b5 is kind of off the table. They have this idea. I'm really not too worried about that, to be honest. So we're just going to continue with our development. This knight has to be fixed. The knight and the bishop are kind of getting in the way. They're both competing over the e7 square. He's got this check. Always good to keep in mind. Okay. He's probably heading for knight g6. I'm kind of tempted to just go h4. Could also play knight f5 and key into d4. I'm tempted to just castle. That's the most flexible move. I don't really know. I've never had this. Oh. This looks bad to me. Because he's not going to be able to put enough pressure on this. He's only going to be able to max put 3 guys on this, which I can easily kind of defend. And the knight is lacking stability here. One thing that okay, this is a very common like alpha 0 type idea. Whenever there's a knight on any of these squares, chasing it with the rook pawns. But just in general, outside of this specific idea, there's this quote that I heard from John Bartholomew that I think is really telling, where he says, knights like stables. It's easy to remember, and it's true. Not just knights, but every piece really needs stability. So he commits to this move, which is a big commitment from him. So I'm tempted to go after the center, but I think that just opens up his bishop. So I wonder... I wonder what to do. Let's over defend the pawn. Queen b6. This move feels like a mistake. It gets in the way of this. It potentially allows long castles. I don't like this move though. I'm tempted to just sink the bishop in, because this bishop trade is good for me. It's a classic theme of this is my bad bishop, because the central structure is pawns on light for black and pawns on dark. I mean, there's really only one, but this is the most important pawn in the position. Okay, so I should just take that. I shouldn't really take... Okay, and this is hanging now. I don't really see a reason why that's not free. Okay. This knight. Okay, so he's got this tempo move, but I've got e6 coming, so he's got to be really careful. Like, for example, here I go here. I'm on b7. I'm on the knight. I see. I still kind of am interested in this move. Because I would love to get this move in before he castles. Okay, so I've also got a problem on the b2 square that I got to worry about. I got a problem here, but if my queen goes and defends, like I might drop this pawn. You have to ask yourself, like, do I really care about that? Like, here, 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 take e6. I have to be winning there. Like, okay, so here's more forcing. Take, 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 e6. There's no rook d8. I'm covering that, and I'm threatening checkmate. And I'm always holding knight d2 in case I need to bail. I think that's good enough. I was also looking at this move, bishop b3. Trying to solve both issues at once. But it does create another issue just for my king. But I didn't think that there was a way for black to really do anything to my king, to be honest. And bishop b3 might have been the best move. We will check that with the computer. I wonder. Okay, so he is going to allow e6, which is going to be pretty devastating, I think. So we're just going to play it. I think take, we're going to take with the queen. We're really not afraid of any of these trades because we are up material. We're up a pawn. I'm a little worried about like queen b2 stuff, so I have to watch that constantly. So like, let's say take takes, take on b2. Could go queen e4 there. Take this, take this. Moves the king. I take this with check and I go back. That's pretty good. So wait, take, take. Take queen e4. King f7. King f7 does not defend this knight enough times. So castles. Take. Wow. It's a big decision. So I got a problem on b2. Problem here. I'm tempted to try to go after this knight somehow. Got this check. I don't know if that really helps me. I mean, I flick it in and then go all the way back. I think it's better to go all the way back because I'm noticing this h pawn. I talked about this h pawn a long time ago. This h pawn is weak and it's preventing him from castling. So I would like my queen on f5. That looks annoying and stable for him. Like, so I'm expecting rook d8. Okay, and we're gonna play this, eyeball this, eyeball this, and he's got to go knight f8 and like g6, but you can't be happy about, oh my god, just rook takes, GG, game over. I'm on the f7 square. I'm also on checkmate in 2. When there's checkmate in 1, always play checkmate in 2. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting game. So I'll see if my stream is still working. My hair looks okay. Wait, he made a move? He didn't resign the game. Check, check. Checkmate. Cool. That was good. So I'm going to see if I can do a memory test and look at the game here. This is QChess, really big fan of this website. So I played e4, and my opponent went for the French, e6, and I played d3. He played d5. I played queen e2, and we got knight f6. I played knight f3. Knight f3, it's saying, is bad. Interesting. Interesting. Played in 90% of the games. I might look at the Lichess database. I like Lichess database a little more, to be honest. Just as there's more games, like you can say, oh, well, these are better quality games. It's like, yeah, but there's like 500 of them. Whereas here, there's 100,000. And 100,000 always beats 500, regardless of, quality. At least that's my opinion. So he played c5, bishop e7. I like this line. Bishop e7, like e5. Doesn't like e5. It says e5 is quite bad. e5, knight f7, c4. What's the refutation of this? Castles, g3, b5. But they have to do this, or it's... And this is what I was saying, where this b5 move shows up a lot, even as a gambit, right? There's no support for it, but black's just trying to take over the center, right? If I take, I assume, like, we're going to see, like, a6. Let's see. Yeah, a6 is the best move. It's -1 already. Interesting. So... that didn't happen, though. They didn't play bishop e7. They played c5. c4, best move. Not very common. Only 0.2% of the games. Wow. I played g3. That's much more common. 86% of games. Scores similarly. Is there an advantage to playing c4? What is it? Interesting. Bishop e7. More common is d4. d4 is just a bad move. Yeah. I guess I should look into this, playing c4 immediately before e5. That's interesting. This is a really... So, let me tell you, give more background about this website. So, it was made by one of my friends. And it has evals from a thing called Chinabase. And Chinabase, it's basically a very, very, very strong version of Stockfish that has pre-analyzed every opening to a super high depth. So these evaluations are very, very, very accurate. Much more accurate than if I turned on like this engine. This is Stockfish 18. So it's saying c4. I have never seen this idea, and it looks like this is relatively unknown. Only 0.2% of games. But okay, I played g3, and my opponent played this move, which I was really criticizing, bishop d7. And one of the problems of this move, I felt, was that there's no knight d7 now. The advantage is that you're supporting b5. Which is a typical idea, but you don't even need support for that idea. It's saying c4 again, start with c4. Interesting. Okay, I played e5, that's pretty close. And there's no knight d7 now. So knight g8. And I wasn't sure, because I played c4, and I felt like the best move for black was to play b5. That is not the case. Best for black is knight c6. Interesting. That's what he did. Okay, it's saying I should go for a structure like c3, d4. Now that the knight is there. It's rare that you go for that structure. But it makes some amount of sense. You have to worry about this and d4 becoming weak. Bishop h3. Wow. That's very interesting. Bishop h3, then what? Like knight c6? Castle? I'm combining with c4, I assume. c4, and then I'm threatening takes in e6. That's a very concrete way to play. Not an idea I've seen. Interesting. So knight g8, I played c4, knight c6. I think we're getting to the end of the line. He played knight e7. Oh, I played bishop g2. Doesn't like that. It says b3 is best. Knight e7. And I castled. I thought about starting with h4, but this is not a very flexible approach. This is more flexible. Better to be flexible. So computer agrees with that. And he went knight g6, which I also thought was bad. I thought he should key in on d4. It's a nice point for black. It's under their control. And I felt like knight g6 was quite bad for a variety of reasons. One, the knight's not stable, right? And I'm immediately going to challenge that with h4. So the instability of the knight is one reason, and the second reason is like he just doesn't have enough people on. Why is the too many arrows? He doesn't have enough guys on the e5 point. He just can't hit it enough times. It's very easy for me to defend. So those two things, the instability of the knight combined with the lack of like real pressure, made me believe that this is a bad move. So okay, I challenge the knight. I think we're getting to the end of. Okay, and he plays h5. Computer's already giving a huge advantage for white. And that's interesting. I looked at knight c3, but I was worried a little about d4. Knight d5. Wow. Wow, just bang. And we're rolling down the center pretty hard. And again, another drawback of h5 is, you know, after... Oh, it's going for d6 and paralysis. That's interesting. So black is up a piece, but if black like moves, they're paralyzed. This bishop can't get in the game, right? He literally cannot move. And the computer is saying, look, you're gonna lose. Like, I'm gonna play moves like rook c1. Rook c1 comes to mind because this is a weak point. And sure, you're up a piece, but the piece you're up, your king is never gonna castle. He's not gonna castle this way. I'm controlling that. He's not gonna castle this way because this guy's never gonna move. He can't go here because this knight is literally got no squares to go to either. It literally has no legal moves. Everything is controlled. And if you can't move the knight, you can't move the pawn, and you can't go there. So there's really no logistical way to fix these issues and the king being cut. And we're just going to pretend that we're not down a piece. We're just like, oh, let's go attack this undefended pawn, and maybe throw a pawn break in there and try to go after this pawn. And white has the time for that. Like, look, white's going a3. a3 for b4. Yeah. They're just playing completely normal. Like, we're not down a piece. Because are these guys really like extra material? Like, let's be honest here. Interesting. So I did not look at that idea at all. A very intriguing idea. Okay, but I didn't play that. What did I do? I said, let's defend the pawn. Let's see. Let's look at 5 lines. So I went rook e1. Saying rook e1 is the 5th move. Really likes this knight c3 into d4 idea. And knight a3 also showing up. Rook e1, I felt like was solid. Okay. my opponent do here? He played queen b6, which I felt like I did not like queen b6. I felt like it was a bad move. It is one of the engine's recommended choices, but I don't know. I don't like this move because it freezes. You cannot have this pawn break in the future. This pawn is really defended twice, so it's not threatening anything. And it's not really ever super safe for you to go long. I guess you could try. And it's saying to take. I didn't take. I thought about this idea to take and play knight c3. Thought bishop e6. Bishop g5. Just okay, interesting. I didn't do that. But yeah, queen b6. Yeah, they should just be like normal and try castle and pretend there's no pawn on. I mean, this pawn is such a headache for black. It's saying closes center. Interesting. So queen b6. What did I do? I played bishop g5, and I was talking about this trade. Okay, that's the second move. I was talking about this trade always being kind of good for white, because this is the bad bishop and this is the good bishop. And you're just left with some weaknesses. Like, there's a big weakness on d6. Like, you always have to worry. Like, imagine, like, this happens. I am able to play knight c3, maybe generating some pressure and keying in on this weak square. And you can see how this, you know, kind of general principle becomes, you know, important. So, I don't think... Okay, let's see what happened. Rook e1, queen b6, bishop g5, and he played knight d4, which is probably okay. Okay, I just took it. Oh, it loses a pawn. I was saying it lost a pawn, and I didn't see a reason not to win a pawn. So, you know, we just go grab the cookie, you know, of course. Bishop c6, and this is a moment I was curious about. So I was wondering about this bishop b3 move. It's saying bishop e3 is third. I played queen f3, threatening, like, checkmate, essentially. But allowing this trade. But it's saying that this is good. Why is that? a3. Okay, knight d2 looks a lot more natural. So maybe this is annoying, I guess. Okay, but bishop e3 I thought is a good move, because like e6 is coming and this bishop is a monster, and we're safeguarding this pawn. And he's really getting crisscross applesauce, and that's kind of reflected in the evaluation. And the weakness of the light squares of white's king is not, like, logistically, like, it takes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves for black to generate like a mate threat on these weak light squares. So like optically it looks weak, but it's really challenging for black to actually exploit. So I was interested in that move. But okay, I played queen f3 and he took and played bishop e7, e6, f6. It's saying, like, don't even care that your bishop's hanging. Okay, I was a little bit more passive than that. Just saying develop, that's kind of funny. I just went and guarded the pawn. And he played this move. I knew he would play this move. Computer is saying to just give castle and give away h5, but it's not super attractive to play like that. And queen f5, I wanted to keep an eye on this and this. I knew he had to go knight f8, but okay, he didn't. He played this move. And I mean, this just ends the game. What he did doesn't address the checkmate and 2 threat. He just got mated. Alright. We're 1900 now. I'm going to play one more game, maybe. One more. Okay, the Scandinavian. You should take this. And I used to play this line with bishop b5, but the strong engines really like just d4, and I'm trying to be as principled as possible. I don't really remember very much. I do know that this move is almost always bad. Just in general, I really have soured. Oh my gosh. This looks like lost for black already. Just because it comes back to what we were talking about last game. Knights like stables. And neither of these knights are stable, right? There's a central expansion available for me. So like c4 here, here. He's already losing a piece. So I'll take that. So he has to go knight f6. He doesn't have a choice, really. I mean, he could go knight b6. But why would you want your knight on b6? And he's got to go back. Which is really not what you would like to do in an ideal world. Okay, so c7 could be weak. So he wants to break my center. And I would like to not let him do that. Knight c3 looks most normal. Guards the center and potentially looks at c7. Okay, I was talking about this move. I really cannot say how negative I feel about this move. Like, this move is just like total clown show. Because this pin isn't dangerous, and you leave the light squares really weak. So I'm tempted to just play h3 and ask him what he's doing. Okay, and again, I think he should, I don't know. Okay, we're just gonna continue the expansion. So we have two very attractive ideas. We can go after this pawn, or we can go for this plan. And I'm not sure what one is gonna be better. Let's go after this pawn to start. I think it's kind of annoying for him to defend that. Oh my goodness. And let's go sink in. So he's got to go knight d7, but the problem is one, I have like knight c6. And two, the idea that I'm actually probably going to do is I'm probably just going to play f4. Okay, this, he just gets the most atrocious pawn structure ever seen in all humanity. He also is getting sauced on this diagonal. Again, you cannot do this with your light square bishop. You just leave yourself with so many problems, so many issues on the light squares. It's just so nasty. And I don't think he's going to survive for very long here. Okay, so he's got to play c6. c6, I mean, I can just take it. That looks pretty good. Queen e6. Okay, he's just gonna give me a full rook. Valid. He wants to take. Doesn't really have a great. So I could take. So his idea is to take and to play queen d4 and win my knight. My knight is not defended. So I'm tempted to just take, and take. And now, if you take and you play queen d4, I'm going to go here. And you're lost. So we're going to do that. I mean, the pawn structure is really bad. I do have to worry. This rook is very active and there's a pin here. If this bishop gets cut. Okay, so he's not pinning me. So I think he's got some pressure on f2. And he's got this idea. So I have to prioritize. I have to decide between bringing the bishop back or something like castling. Now, if I bring the bishop back, I believe he's going to start sacking. Take, 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 take. I just go up, though. I don't think we care too much. I mean, we're going to be up so many pieces there. We're going to be up a rook and a knight. It's hard for me not to feel optimistic when we're up a rook and a knight. And this knight is still struggling developing. So I'm just up a full rook here. So yeah, he can do this. Maybe he could start with this. I didn't look at that. But that again... Oh, maybe that's better. Maybe that's better for him to start with that. Okay, maybe I'll step up. Maybe we don't want to take that bishop. Well, I mean, we're up a rook, right? We don't need to take every single piece that's offered to us. The king is pretty stable on the e2 square, as long as there's no rook f2, right? It's not so stable. Like, okay, take, here, here, here. My bishop's undefended. I can start going on adventures, but I'm trying to win King of the Hill or something there, and it could get a little scary for me. I don't like his queen can't really enter. I guess there's this check, but it's starting to look a little sus. He's running out of pieces there, but what to say? I mean, I just don't believe in the attack for black. I think he's down too much material. He's going to have to give another piece away to start it. One of these moves. And this, I'm just going to take it. I don't care. I put my king on e2. Like, the Barn Cloud is goated. Everyone knows that. Yeah. And the queen can only have this is the only entry square on the d file. Like, okay, like this is covered a bunch. This is covered by the bishop. Oh, they have this square. This is covered. So these two squares. Yeah. Something about taking the bishop is not feeling right to me. I'm just gonna play this and like rook here. And the king is hard to get to because the pawn is It's a closed file. They don't have a light square bishop. This knight is a dark square knight, so it cannot deliver a check to a king on a light square. And actually, the knight is completely boxed. Knight has no forward moves. So I'm really only dealing with these pieces attacking. And I feel safe on e2 because, one, this piece can never get me on e2. There's no real way. Okay, I'm going to do this. So the only way for him to check me on e2 is like to somehow get his rook here. It's logistically very hard to do that because knight can't go anywhere. And meanwhile, you know, I'm going to be doing my own things like rook here. And white is just such good square control. Like, even if he goes queen d4, there's no threat. Like, I'm controlling all these squares. I guess this is a threat. So maybe, okay, so queen d4. Okay. So I think we should definitely flick this one in. Control the file. And then just take the bishop. He wants knight c5. But now that I'm on the file, okay, where's the queen gonna go? So if I take this bishop here, he's got this check. It's a little annoying. So I'm tempted to just go here. And ask him to put his cards on the table. Like, do you want your knight here? Do you want your queen here? If queen there, I'm going to offer a queen trade and threaten and defend. And like I said, e3 square is covered. Knight's not going anywhere. I'm safe. Even if this knight's here, the king on e2 is pretty stable. So now there's no queen c5. So this bishop is actually hanging. Sure. Let's control the e4 square. Let's threaten g6 pawn. We do have this pin operating. The queen is... I like how limited this queen is. Cannot really go anywhere. If I take the bishop, I do have to deal with some bullshit. So I don't think we're going to do that. But we probably will take this pawn. Can also consider b4. Okay. So he wants... What does he want? I don't know what he wants. I kind of want to just put the rook on the file opposite the queen. Okay. I guess he's defending this pawn. But again, this knight can't really move anywhere. It's really unfortunate that he can't move his knight anywhere. Maybe he could try that? I don't know. Let's try for this one. But if he moves here, I'm kicking him. And again, his queen, the square control, the bishops. Look at the bishops are controlling all these squares around my king. So the white grip in the position is really quite large. Oh, wow. Okay. Get the heck out of my house. He's not even really in my house, but please leave. And then I can even maybe consider this move. It might be better to just control the file. I mean, it depends where the knight goes, right? I could also consider, yeah, it depends where the knight goes. He might want to put his knight here. How do we feel about that? I mean, yeah, I think it's best to just control the file. Because if he puts his knight here, what I'm noticing is his bishop can't go there. So I have this move, because there's a pin here. But then I was a little annoyed by this. So I'm going to try to just develop. And now we go here. We're guarding this. We're hitting this. The bishop is like trapped, basically. Can't really move that guy. Again, the king on e2 is super goated on a light square. Just untouchable by any of the black pieces. Okay. I think I can start running the king over here. It's kind of funny. You can also just try to win material. That looks very logical. I didn't even see that that was hanging, to be honest with you. Just trade. Okay. It's not really even threatening. Oh, I just trade and rook comes in and I win a queen. Okay. Yeah. That's game over. And yeah, I mean, played probably okay. Let's take a look. So what even happened? So he played this Scandi, which is okay. It's like 0.19. He played knight f6. And interesting, I played d4. Knight f3 is best. So I played d4 and he took, which is bad. Is it even worse against knight f3? Let's see. It's the same eval. Okay. So I played d4, takes, knights here, and then he played this move, which I thought was like literally like he like lost the game after this move. Which is kind of weird to say that, considering that it's only move like what, move 5. Let's see, how bad is this? Okay, it's already plus 1.2. Yeah, yikes. And again, it comes back to what I was talking about in the previous game. Knights like stables. And this is not stable for his knights. So okay, I hit c4. He has no choice. He has to go knight f6. And I have d5. It doesn't like d5. It says d5 is premature. And that I'm going to get my center chipped. I can believe that. So knight c3 is better. Because then what happened in the game, he is chipping my center. I played knight c3 here. And then my opponent played a very, very, very bad move. Bishop g4. You see bishop g4 all the way down here. +2. And like I said, I really soured on these moves, the pin moves. I mean, this position especially, he really should be chipping the center with e6 or c6. E6 is better because it's a developing move for his bishop. But I mean, like, what are you doing? Like, you're weakening the diag, you're weakening b7, you're creating a liability for yourself when the bishop's on g6. I'm just really not a fan. So I play h3. That's the top move. And he should give away. He should go back. I mean, that just shows you how dire the situation is. That bishop c8 is the best move. But okay, he goes here, further encouraging expansion. We're not going to think twice. Bishop g6. It's already +3 on China. And the computer just says, like, bishop g2. And black's screwed on the light squares. It's a very interesting way to play. I went for a much more direct way. I'm trying to, like, hit at the immediate weaknesses in the... I said I was deciding between these two moves, this move and this move. This move has this idea where you force a h-pawn move and then you take, and they have to have a weakened e-pawn and a weakened king. Okay, I didn't see the problem with including this queen b3. It says to just give away this pawn, which I believe. You know, the situation is pretty dire already. B6, you know, hastens the defeat, because now the light square problems are getting even more severe. It says start with bishop g2, most flexible. Okay, I went knight e5, and we got e6, take, bishop g2. Okay, opponent's like super lost. He goes for bishop c5. Makes sense. This is the third move. And he's got some tricks. Right, I mentioned that his main idea is to take queen d4 and then win the knight. So I was like, okay, well, if I take this and I take this, now you can't do that, right? There's no knight for you to take. So he castled, increasing the pressure on f2. And I was deciding between two moves here. I was deciding between moving the bishop back. Wow, I didn't consider that. Bishop f3. I only looked at bishop g2. Bishop f3 makes a lot of sense because you cover up the f file. So now if he takes, you just take it. And there's no discovered check. Anywhere the knight goes, you just take it. Like if it goes here, free. Goes here, free. Goes here, free. Because it's not check. Interesting. Bishop f3. Wow. It looks a little weird to do that in the way of the rook, but it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so yeah, I was only really considering castling or this. It says queen d1. Queen d1 is really big-brained because we're up a rook, right? So trading the queens is a great benefit to us. Okay, I played bishop g2, and he took, and I did not take this. I was a little afraid. I went king e2. I thought the king was quite safe on e2. This is still giving white a pretty major advantage. And he went for knight a6, just developing. Okay, and I went rook d1, trying to force his queen off the file. Queen d1 makes a lot of sense. I see that now. Because this forces his queen off the file all the same, and it does step out a knight c5 tempo. But okay, we did this. And queen e7. And bishop g5. And I was talking about how I wanted him to put the cards on the table. That's the reasoning behind this move. Where I want him to commit. If he goes here, I'm going to go here. If he goes here, now he can't go here anymore. He's got two pieces competing for the same square. But okay, he chooses to go with the knight. You know, queen c2 very nicely controls the knight. Controls the e4 square a bunch of times. It's an important square, jumping off square for black. And I was... oh, he defended his pawn. He didn't want me to take it. And the computer is just like, there's a free bishop. I'm just going to run away. There's nothing to see here. That's pretty funny, to be honest. Okay, I didn't do that. What did I do? I believe I played... Did I play this one first or this one? I played this one, I think. And then bishop g3. Now I play b4. Get out of my house. Knight cd7. And I put the other rook on the open file. And now I'm saying again, he has the same problem where he's competing for this square with 2 pieces. And he puts the knight there. Now the bishop can't go there. So I go knight e4. I'm hitting the bishop. I'm hitting this. And, you know, he dodges, but you know, it's too late for him. And concretely, he's just losing a queen here. There's nothing to do. And yeah, the king on e2. I mean, the bomb cloud is goated. What can you say? So yeah, that was my first speedrun episode. Hopefully you guys liked it. I think this might be a series that I continue. I might start a new account and like try to lower the RD a little, so I get a little more games in, because I think I'm gaining rating a little quicker than I would like. Like I'm already 1930. I gained 26 points from that. So we'll see. We'll see. But hopefully that analysis was useful for you guys. All right.